Hi, Jocelyn. Thank you for coming to our first session. Before we get started, I just want to go over just the way I kind of do my counseling session. First, I would like to let you know that confidentiality is something that I take very seriously. So anything that is said in our session will remain in our session. And also, if you at any time feel uncomfortable, maybe of something we may talk about, you may feel free to stop the session. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about a little bit. Let's talk about you for our first question. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am in high school right now. I'm going to the 10th grade this upcoming fall. Right now, I'm trying to juggle schoolwork and take an online class and things like that. But I'm kind of in between relationships right now. In the previous session, I told you about the guy I was talking to. We were just talking for about 6 months. And right now, I guess you could say I'm in between relationships, in between him and then another guy that I had met. The first relationship, he was a football player. Everything was going good at first, but then when football started, it started to get as if I kind of felt alone, I guess you could say, because he would put more effort and energy into that and not me. And I guess I didn't really know how to tell him that. And when I kind of gave him hints towards that, I don't think he quite got it. So, it didn't work out as well as I planned. He did to this day. I'm not sure if he really knows how I feel about the situation. And then I met someone about a couple weeks ago, and it was just different. It was way different. Everything was different, honestly. It was a lot better. I'm a lot happier now. But I can't be in between relationship stuff.
Okay. So from what I'm hearing, you saying that you're in high school and you're dating a guy who's in high school and he just started playing football and you're kind of in between relationships. So let's pause right there. When you say in between relationships, could you explain that a little more for me?
Well, basically, I haven't really broke it off with him yet.
Okay.
So I have a new friend.
So you're still seeing your boyfriend and you also have another friend.
Yes.
Okay. So he recently just started playing football and so you're saying you feel alone, is that correct?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. And how being alone in a relationship, how does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel like I'm the only one putting in effort, and he's just kind of there.
Okay. So you would say that you are a good girlfriend in a way and he's just kind of leading you along with his daily activities that he's doing. He's not really putting the effort into the relationship. Is that right? Okay. So when did he start playing football?
Probably we were both freshmen last year, so at the beginning of freshman year, football season started.
Okay. So he kind of just started playing football. Could you tell me a little bit about how the relationship was before he played football?
Well, the summer is when we kind of first started talking. It was really, it was good. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was the best relationship I ever been in, but everything was okay. We hung out occasionally, and when we did, we always had a pretty good time, I guess you could say. But when school started, football season got into full swing, it was he was either at practice or he had a game or he was doing homework or he was asleep. That was the only time I could talk to him about anything. And it was kind of like I was in a relationship, but I was in it by myself. So I was just dating myself, basically.
Okay, so you were dating yourself.
That's what it felt like, yes.
Okay. Now, have you had a chance to talk to him about some of the feelings that you are feeling in a relationship? It seems like it has gone, I guess it seems like it has been like this since he's been playing football. And you said that was freshman year, right?
Right, it was last year.
Last year, okay. So it's been about a year. So have you expressed to, what's your boyfriend's name?
Jason.
Have you expressed to Jason how you feel being alone in the relationship? Does he know?
I'm not sure he quite understands how I feel. I've tried to mention it on occasions, but I haven't told him exactly what I'm telling you right now.
Okay. So, are you comfortable with talking to him? I know he has a busy schedule, but are you actually comfortable talking to him about it?
I'm comfortable talking to him about it.
Okay. Now, if you were to talk to him, what do you think he would say about this? Do you think he would make an excuse? What would be some of the things that he would say as to why he has been making you feel alone in the relationship and not really putting forth that effort?
Well, first of all, I don't think he really notices that he isn't putting in effort. I think it's just me who notices. So I'm really not sure if he would make an excuse or try to make it seem like as if it was my fault.
So he doesn't notice.
I don't think he does now.
Okay, and why do you think he doesn't notice?
Because he's busy with everything else. And if he took the time to actually speak to me on a regular basis like we used to when we first started the relationship, then I feel like as if he would know.
Okay. So tell me about your value in the relationship. How do you value you and Jason's relationship? Do you think it's something that is worth fighting for, or do you think that he will change? Talk a little bit about the significance of the relationship.
Well, I mean, you can only hope that he would change right now. I'm hoping that he's going to change. I'm trying to give him a chance to change, but I haven't quite talked to him about changing, and I'm not sure if he's even able to do that because he's so busy. I'm not sure if he's able to even have a girlfriend and be able to change his relationship because of the fact he's so busy. He has so many other things to do. I can only hope, honestly, that he'll change.
Okay. Now, when y'all were in the relationship originally, did Jason tell you that he was going to be playing football, or is this something that he just did on his own? Did he express to you? Did y'all have that conversation about, hey, Jocelyn, I'm going to be playing sports, so it may not be, the same as it was before?
When he first talked to me about it, of course, being his girlfriend, I was like, his number one supporter. I was like, yay, that's really good that you're going to be playing football or whatever. But it was never a conversation where he expressed that I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be too busy to talk to you. And I understand that, things do happen, practices or whatever, because I'm busy myself. But at the same time, you can't ever be too busy where you go weeks and weeks without even speaking besides a hey and a bye.
All right, that doesn't feel good. No. I can see where you kind of feel alone in a relationship. I can definitely see that. So you sound like you are a really good girlfriend. Can you tell me about some of the ways in which you support Jason before he was playing football, and even some ways now that you try to support him, even though he is not paying you that attention that you want?
Well, at the very beginning, I could probably say I was a little bit more supportive back then than I am now. I kind of have taken a step back now, but at the very beginning, especially when football camp first started, over the summer before the actual season started, after his practice every day, sometimes I'd come to the practices, make sure he had his water, all the stuff together. During the season, I was pretty much at every game. It was maybe 2 games that I possibly missed, but other than that, I was pretty much there. I was always in the stands cheering him on. I was always there to see him after the game. And of course, after the game, he would, speak to me then, but it would be like, you want to do something afterwards? You want to go get something to eat? Oh, I'm busy. Coach has a meeting, blah, 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 blah. And it seemed as if, like, wow, I took my time to support you, but now you can't even sit down, go out for pizza or whatever after your game. It was really kind of, like, disheartening. Now, beginning, probably the first 4 weeks of football season, it wasn't like that. He was able to go and do other things with me. But I guess after the 4 weeks or whatever, and he did kind of have a minor injury during one of the games, and in which he kind of fell on his knee a little bit, and I guess that they might have had a little bit of strain on him, but I tried to support him through that. I went to the doctor with him, and everything checked out okay. It was just a minor sprain, but I think after then is when he really started pushing more away from me.
Okay. So do you feel like he appreciates you? All the things that you said seems like you are really supportive. Does he appreciate that? Has he said, Jocelyn, I really appreciate everything you've done, despite me being so busy or despite us not being able to spend as much time as we do? Does he acknowledge the appreciation? Is the appreciation acknowledged?
At the beginning, it was. He would always thank me after every game. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting. I really do appreciate it. But now, I guess it's kind of like second nature to them. I guess he expects me to be there. I'm like, okay.
So he expects you to be there.
Yeah, it's an expectation now.
Okay. So from what I'm getting, is you're kind of feeling a sense of anger almost.
Yeah.
You're angry that you're supposed to be in a relationship with Jason, and you have been for a little over a year. He has gone a different route, and it is okay to play extracurricular activities because I'm sure as you do, you're cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
So it is okay, but it seems like he has kind of strayed away from the relationship, right? And he's kind of taken you for granted. And it's almost like you said, second nature. Jocelyn is supposed to do this, so he isn't really as appreciative as she should. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to come back to Jason, but you were saying in the beginning of the session how you met another guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about where you guys met? Tell me a little bit about him and how he kind of compares to Jason, so to speak.
I actually met this guy. His name is Brian. We met at the bowling alley one time. Matter of fact, I was supposed to be going with Jason to the bowling alley, and he didn't show up. And so I was kind of waiting there. And then Brian, he approached me. He was like, I'm here by myself. You want to just play a game of bowling? And I was like, yeah, sure. At first, I really didn't think anything of it. It was just kind of like a game of bowling. I just thought it was just friendship. And so then I kept seeing Brian, I started seeing him around school or whatever. I'd always say, hey, he got my number. We would talk sometimes. And it would be crazy because I would try to call Jason, and Jason wouldn't answer his phone. Then I called Brian, and Brian would immediately answer. So it was like a huge contrast between both of them. It was a big difference. And I started to feel a difference, and I was like, well, maybe I like Brian a little bit more than Jason, because Brian right now he's being more supportive.
Sure. Okay. So this guy Brian, you meet him at the bowling alley,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he is the total opposite of Jason.
Right.
He's more supportive of you. He's
Right.
there for you. He makes time for you. He makes
Right.
you feel appreciated.
Right.
Appreciated, excuse me. And so he got your number, and now you guys are talking, or you're kind of in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you all do? And before we go there, you said that he goes to the same school as Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So does Jason know Brian?
Jason, I'm pretty sure he's seen him before. They're not like best of friends, but I'm pretty sure he's seen them before because Jason plays basketball.
Okay, so
no, Brian plays basketball.
Brian plays basketball and Jason plays football.
Right.
Okay, so we got you like the sports guy.
Right.
Okay. So Brian is playing on the basketball team. So even though Brian plays basketball, he still makes that time for you that Jason does not, as he's playing football. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So tell me a bit about the relationship you have with Brian. I know you said he's supportive of you, but do you all go on dates, or do you all talk about the relationship that you're in with Jason? Have you all talked about that?
We honestly haven't talked about it because I choose not to talk about it with him because I don't want him to really. He knows a little bit about it, but I don't want him to know everything about that relationship. But right now, me and Brian, we just like to go out and have a good time. We do go out, and every time we do go out, we have a good time. And it was like basically the beginning of me and Jason's relationship. That's what it feels like. But it's ongoing, and it's not just, first 2 weeks or whatever. It's ongoing. He's always there. He's a big supporter of pretty much everything I do, and I'm a lot happier with him.
Okay. So on the one hand, you are feeling a sense of anger towards, not necessarily towards Jason, but towards the relationship, I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand, you're feeling a sense of happiness.
Right.
And you feel appreciated with Brian because he spends the time with you like you want. Mm-hmm. And so you say that you don't really talk about the relationship you have with Jason to Brian. How does he feel about that? Does he know that he knows that you're in a relationship with Brian? Knows you're in a relationship with Jason, right?
Right, he does.
How does he feel about that? Knowing that that's kind of, you're in the in-between stage. How does that work for you all?
Well, Brian, he's not one of too many words. So with him, it's like he doesn't necessarily talk about it too much. He knows it kind of like in the back of his head, but he doesn't talk about it too much because I don't talk about it too much. And furthermore, I don't really talk to Jason as much as I talk to Brian. So it's just kind of like almost as if Jason is just a friend to me now, even though I'm not officially out of a relationship with Jason, but it just seems as if he's just a friend. And so Brian just treats him as just one of my guy friends.
Oh, okay. So, would you say that you would like to continue the relationship with Jason, even though you feel that sense of anger, but you're really enjoying, it seems like you're really enjoying the relationship that you have with Brian,
Mm-hmm.
and it's apparent.
Right.
He is really enjoying you in the relationship, and then
Mhm.
vice versa. So would you say that you would like to stay in the relationship with Jason? If he were to get better, maybe there could be some change. I'm not sure if that's something that you all could talk about, but how do you see it progressing?
At this point with my relationship with Jason, I don't necessarily want to continue going in the direction we want to. I don't that we were in. I don't necessarily want to stop talking to him all completely. But I think honestly, just a friendship right now would be good. Just I'll be there for him. He'll be there for me whenever I need him. I think that would honestly be the best thing for me and him right now. And we do need to have that discussion sooner than later.
Yeah, it would be really good if you all could just sit down and have the discussion, as you said, the sooner the better.
Right.
Because if that's something that you want to continue with Brian, then it will be easier because Jason will kind of be out of the picture.
Right.
So let's kind of role play, if you will. You said in the beginning that you kind of feel sort of comfortable with talking to Jason,
Mm-hmm.
but would you like to role play?
Sure.
I can be Jason.
Okay.
And then you can be yourself, Jocelyn. And let's just role play. Let's say we're at Barnes and Noble or we're at Panera.
Okay.
We'll be at Panera.
Okay.
You are approaching me as a girlfriend, and I am the boyfriend, and you just approaching me of how you have been feeling in the relationship. We'll start there, and then if you feel uncomfortable at any point, you can stop it, and then we can continue on with the session. Does it sound okay?
Okay.
Okay. So we're at Panera Bread, and we're going to kind of role play the discussion. So, hey Jocelyn, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. I just feel like our relationship is just kind of gone downhill. I've been so busy with football, and I kind of miss you. Where you been?
Well, actually, Jason, that's exactly what I need to talk to you about today. I've been around, but I don't think you necessarily noticed that I was ever there. I've been doing good. I hope you have. Right now, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen me sometimes, in the hallways with, Brian, right?
Yeah, Brian plays basketball, right?
Right, he's tall, plays basketball. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You might have seen me with him. And I wanted to let you know that right now, I am kind of talking to him right now. I wasn't talking to him intent of hurting you or trying to hurt this relationship or necessarily, but we started talking, and that was during the time, honestly, I felt neglected by you, and I felt alone in the relationship. While you said you were busy, I felt during that time that you were so busy you wouldn't even notice, and because of that, somebody else noticed me. And during that time, me and Brian, we just started being really, really good friends.
Yeah, I'm sorry I hadn't really been, the best of a boyfriend to you. But thank you for coming and telling me, because I kind of wanted to talk to you about some things. I'm not seeing anyone right now. I just wanted to let you know kind of like what was going on, with me. I'm really kind of, like I said, busy with football, and, I have that sprain. So, that's still kind of hurting me, and kind of puts me down a little bit, because when I have that sprain and it kind of hurts, I'm not able to play football. Football is my passion.
Yeah, it is.
I love some football. So I kind of thank you for coming to meet me here and just kind of talk. And I wish you the best.
I wish you, the best too. And maybe sometimes we can hang out or whatever. You have my number. You can always hit me up and we can maybe talk some more time. I'll be at the football games, of course. And I wish you the best too. Wish you all the best of luck.
Okay, thank you. So the scenario is ended. Okay. So that was a really great job, Jocelyn, of, expressing your feelings to Jason. It sounded like you were able to get your point across. Your feelings were able to come out. You were really calm. that was really good of you just expressing, this is how I feel and this is how, you've made me feel. But you didn't do it in a negative way. You kept your tone. So that was really great.
Right.
Now, since we've done that little scenario, do you think this is something that you could actually do? How do you feel about doing that to talking to Jason?
I do think it's something that I need to do and that actually I could maybe attempt to do.
Okay. So we have a scenario, so you're going to work on that. That will be your homework assignment.
Okay.
If you don't mind, we can make that your homework assignment. And when we come back to the next session, we'll kind of talk about how that went and how that went for you and how that made you feel.
Okay.
So just kind of doing the same session scenario that we just did. Just approaching Jason, and we'll see how it works out.
Okay.
So the session is getting ready to close. But before I close, I kind of wanted to dig a little bit deeper, and I wanted you to tell me about your relationship in the past. You're kind of dating Brian, and you're still kind of dating Jason, but you're gonna kind of end in that relationship with Jason. And so I wanted to know your past relationships and kind of tell me about how they kind of went and how they compare to the one you're in now.
Well, like I said, last year I was a freshman in high school, so I guess you can say relationships in middle school, they were a lot different.
Right.
It would be more kind of like just friendly, playing, we just hang out, that's all. I wasn't necessarily worried about the communication. Sports wasn't that big of an issue for everyone. All my friends and people I know, they didn't really start getting as busy until we got into high school. So middle school, everyone kind of just hung out together. If I was in a relationship, it would be kind of, just like quick, friendly type thing. Right. We would hang out and just have a really good time. I would never honestly feel neglected because they were always there. And they weren't busy. They didn't have a reason to be busy. The school wasn't as big, so it was just like, it would always just be me and them, and we would just always have a good time. And since, I've entered into high school, I see everyone is busy. I'm busy myself, but at the same time, I think I do deserve a little bit better than just to feel neglected or whatever.
Right.
And honestly, Brian has actually showed me that I do deserve that. He hasn't necessarily said that with his mouth, but through his actions, I can see that I deserve better than what Jason is giving me or providing for me at the moment.
Right. Sure. Definitely everyone should, feel appreciative in their relationship.
Right.
And the saying kind of goes, treat someone how you want to be treated.
Right.
And I feel like oftentimes during that age, people don't really get that concept. They don't really grasp it. They're so excited about their friends. They're so excited about sports, as Jason is. They kind of get tangled up in all the activities that they have. They don't realize, hey, I have another person, on my team that's with me and is wanting to be in a relationship. So that's kind of how relationships can be kind of definitely at that age.
Right.
But it is good to see that you agree and are acknowledging that you are worth more and that you want to feel appreciated for the things that you do. You want to feel, like a woman. You want to feel like a queen.
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing you say? So now with Brian, you are able to, feel that way, and you're able to see, hey, this is how I want my relationships to be. This is how a healthy relationship should look like. This is what a healthy relationship looks like.
Right.
Now let me ask you one more thing before we close the session. Your family, do you live with your mom and your dad? Tell me a little bit about your family and your mother and father's relationship.
My family, I do live with both my parents. They have a really good relationship. They've been married for over 25 years. It's a great relationship. It's a great model relationship. Because of course they're older and the time period in which they got together is a lot different now, I guess, per se. It's kind of hard to talk to them about it because they do have such a different perspective because of when they came up and when they were teenagers, how everything went. But I do think as far as showing love and compassion towards each other, they are great models for me to follow.
So you definitely have that model in your life,
right?
To see this is how a relationship's supposed to be. And so are you kind of comparing your parents' relationship is what we would call a healthy relationship to what you should have?
Right. I try to look at their relationship kind of as my goal model relationship right now. Now, high school, I don't necessarily want the exact, the marriage thing. I'm not thinking about that right now, of course. But as far as how they treat each other, how they care for each other, how, they don't let, the petty issues get to each other through their relationship, and how they always put, love first, love for each other first before anything, no matter what happens. I do try to look at that, and, that is my role model relationship.
Okay. That sounds good. So, we're getting ready to wrap up the session. Okay. So I just kind of want to recap everything that we, taken place today. Okay. So you came into the session wanting to kind of know what you should do about being in an in-between relationship. And we talked about how Jason is your boyfriend. He is still your boyfriend, and how he kind of didn't have time for you because he was into the sports and he was into this and into that. He was so busy that he didn't really have time for you. Right. And so that makes you feel neglected. That makes you feel alone. So then you one day went to a bowling alley and kind of came across another guy, Brian, and he paid you attention. Right. He supports you now. He is really into the relationship, kind of more than Jason is. And so you value the relationship that you're kind of in with Brian, although being in the relationship with Jason. So we went over a scenario of how you could approach Jason, and that seemed to work well. So as your homework assignment, you are going to try to do that, right? Okay. So I want to just thank you for coming to this session, and I look forward to hearing how the conversation went with you and Jason, and we'll kind of start there next session and kind of dig a little deeper and to figure out how we can, make this all come together and to work for the benefit of you. Okay. So it was my pleasure to have the session with you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.